Good morning, students. Last class, you learnt about meristem and types of meristem. In this class, you are going to learn about the topic root apical meristem and permanent tissues. Root apical meristem. So, the root is apex is present opposite to the shoot apex. The root apex contains two parts, that is root cap and apical meristem. So the root cap is present below the apical meristem. So there are several theories explains the root apical meristems like the shoot apical meristem. The very important theories are apical cell theory, histogen theory, Carper-Kappi theory, and Quasar-Center concept theory. The first theory is apical meristem theory is apical cell theory. Like the shoot, so the root is also having the apical cell theory. The apical cell theory is proposed by Naegeli. A single apical cell is uh, responsible for the formation of a whole root system. So there is a single apical cells or the apical initial composes the roots meristem. The apical initial is a tetrahedral in shape. There is apical cell is a tetrahedral in shape and produces root cap from one side. It produces root cap from one side. The remaining three sides produce a epidermis, cortex, and vascular tissue. It is found in vascular cryptogams. Vascular means it contains vascular system, that is xylem and phloem. Cryptogams means non-flowering plants. So it is found in the vascular cryptogams. Apical cell theory is proposed by Naegeli. That is, the single apical cell is responsible for the formation of whole root system. According to this theory, the apical initial is a tetrahedral in shape. One side form the root apex, and the remaining three sides are responsible for the formation of epidermis, cortex, and vascular tissue. There is apical cell theory. It is found in the vascular cryptogams. The next, histogen theory. So the histogen theory was proposed by Hanstein, and this theory was supported by Strasburger. The histogen theory is as applied to the root apical meristem. Spokes of four histogens in the meristem. So they are dermatogen. The last layer is a dermatogen and periblemma and pleurum calyptra. It consists of four different layers. One is dermatogen, periblemma, and calyptra, and periblemma and pleurum. So there are three layers. To this layer, the calyptra is the outer covering, which is also called as a root cap. Dermatogen, it is outer layer. Dermatogen is a outer layer. The dermatogen is the outer layer. It gives rise to root epidermis. That is, epiblemma is formed from the dermatogen. So the dermatogen, according to the histogen theory, the dermatogen is an outer layer which makes the epidermis of the root. Epidermis means epiblemma or rhizodermis. The periblemma, it is the middle layer. The periblemma is a middle layer. It gives rise to cortex of the root. Epiblemma is the middle layer. It gives rise to the cortex. And the pleurum, it is the innermost layer. It gives rise to stele. The stele is consist of a pericycle, vascular bundle, and pith. So the pleurum, which forms a innermost layer, and it gives rise to a stele. The stele is consist of pericycle, vascular bundles, and pith. The last layer is a calyptra. It gives rise to root cap. So the root cap is formed from the calyptra. So according to estrogen theory, the root is made up of 4 layers. One is a dermatogen, which makes the epidermis of the root. The second layer is a periblemma, which it is a middle layer. It forms the cortex of the root, and the innermost layer is a plerome, which gives rise to a stele. The stele is consist of pericycle, vascular bundle, and pith. The last covering of the root is a calyptra, which makes the root cap. The root cap is a protective covering present at the apical meristem. The next theory is Corpora Cappi theory. The Corpora Cappi theory is proposed by Schweppe. There are two zones in the root. One is two zones in the root apexes. One is a carper and a Cappi. So the carper zone forms the body. So according to Corpora Cappi theory, the carper forms the body of the root. The body of the root is formed from the carper, and the Cappi zone forms the root cap. That is, the calyptra is formed from the Cappi zone. This theory is equivalent to tunica carpus theory of the shoot apical meristem. So the Corpora Cappi theory is equal to the tunica carpus theory of the shoot system. The two divides are distinguished by the types of the letter T. That is, the carper and Cappi are distinguished by the T and the Y. T and the Y. Carper is characterized by inverted T. The carper is having a inverted T image. Inverted T division. Inverted T. And Cappi is a straight T. Cappi is a straight T, and carper is a inverted T. So the carper zone forms the whole body of the root, whereas the Cappi forms the root cap. So it is denoted by the letter T. Carper is a inverted T and Cappi is a straight T division. The last one is a quiescent center concept. The quiescent center concept was proposed by Cloves in the year 1961 to explain the root apical meristem activity. This center is located between the root cap and differentiating cells of the root. Differentiating cells are cortex, epidermis, and the steles of the root. The apparently inactive region of the cell in the root premeristem is called as a quiescent center. It is the site of hormone synthesis and also the ultimate source of all meristematic cells of the meristem. So the quiescent center is the center for the secretion of the hormones of the plant. There are different hormones are produced by the plants. These hormones are synthesized in the quiescent center, and also it is ultimate source for a meristematic cells of the meristem. Meristematic means the young dividing cells are also present in the quiescent center. So according to quiescent center concept, this was proposed by Cloves. So the Cloves proposed this theory. The quiescent center is present in between the root cap and the differentiating cells of the roots. The apparently inactive region of the cell in the root promeristem is called as a quiescent center. It is the site of hormone synthesis. It is the site of the synthesizers of hormones, and also the meristematic cells are present in the quiescent center. Meristematic cells means young dividing cells are present in the quiescent center. Next topic is permanent tissue. So the permanent tissue is developed from the apical meristem. From the apical meristem, the permanent tissues are formed. The tissues which are formed from the meristematic activities lose the power of cell division either permanently or temporarily. They become a permanent tissue. So the meristematic tissues lose the functioning of the division and it become a permanent tissues is called as a permanent tissue. The permanent tissues are divided into two types. One is a simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So the tissue which lacks the power of division either temporarily or permanently is called as a permanent tissue. The permanent tissue is divided into simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue. The simple permanent tissues are composed of only one type of cells. The simple permanent tissues are composed of only one type of tissue. They are structurally and functionally similar in nature. It, it is of three types. The permanent tissues are of three types. One is a parenchyma, collenchyma, and a sclerenchyma. What is a simple permanent tissue? A simple permanent tissue is a one which is made up of only one type of cells. They are structurally and functionally similar in action. It's called as a simple permanent tissue. There are three type of simple permanent tissues are there. One is a parenchyma, collenchyma, and a sclerenchyma. The first type of permanent tissue is a parenchyma. The parenchyma is derived from the Greek word para means a beside and enchain means a to pour. The parenchyma is generally present in all organ of the plant body. So it is present in root, shoot, flowers. In all part of the plant, the parenchyma cells are present. It makes the ground tissue in a plant. Ground tissue means a cortex region of the plant is made up of parenchyma. The parenchyma is a simple living tissue and it is made up of thin-walled. So the thin-walled cells, the cell wall is made up of, the cell wall of the parenchyma cells are made up of cellulose. The parenchyma cells may be oval or polyhedral, cylindrical, irregular, elongated or armed. The parenchyma tissue normally has permanent intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces means the space between the two cells are called as a intercellular spaces. The space in between the two cells is called as a intercellular spaces. The parenchyma possesses more intercellular spaces. The function of the parenchyma cells is it store reserve food materials. The parenchyma cells stores various types of materials like water, air, ergastic substances. It is usually colorless in nature. The turgidity parenchyma cells helps in the giving rigidity of the plant body. Rigidity means a stiffness of the plant body is due to the presence of the turgidity of the parenchyma cells. The parietal conduction of water is also maintained through the parenchymatous cells. So the parietal means a partially conduction of water is also maintained through the parenchyma cells. So the root has absorbed water from the soil. It conducts through the xylem. During the path of the water, the parenchyma cells are helpful to carry the water from all part of the from the xylem to all part of the body. So the conduction of water is also maintained through the parenchymatous cells. So the parenchyma is generally present in all part of the plant body like root, shoot, flowers, leaves, all are having the parenchyma cells. The parenchyma cells are the living cells, living tissue. It is made up of thin-walled cell wall. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. The parenchyma cells are arranged with a lot of intercellular spaces. The lot of intercellular spaces are present in the parenchyma cells are used for exchange of gases. The main function of the parenchymatous tissues are storage in nature. It is stored water, air, ergastic substances. It is usually colorless in nature. the turgidity, the water holding capacity of the cell is usually useful to make the plant cell rigidity to the rigidity. The partial conduction of water is also maintained through parenchymatous cells. First, sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is derived from the Greek word scleros means hard and enchyma means a infusion. A hard infusion is called as a sclerenchyma. Among the simple tissue, parenchyma and collenchyma are living tissue, whereas the sclerenchyma is a dead tissue because it is very hard. The cell wall of the sclerenchymas are lignified in nature. The sclerenchyma is a dead cell and it lacks protoplasm. So due to the lack of protoplasm, the sclerenchymas are dead cells. The cells are long or short. The cells of the sclerenchymas are either long or short. They are narrow, thick-walled and lignified secondary wall. The walls are lignified because it contains a thickening substance lignin. So the walls of the sclerenchymas are lignified in nature. The cell wall of these cells are uniformly and strongly thickened. So in collenchyma, they are unevenly thickness in nature. The thickness are found in corners, wall borderings and tangential cell. Whereas in sclerenchyma, the thickness are evenly formed in all the surface of the cell wall. So evenly and strongly thickened in nature. They are very hard cells. The sclerenchyma cells is classified into two types. One is a sclerids and another one is a fibers. What is meant by sclerenchyma? The sclerenchyma is a dead cell. Due to the lack of protoplasm, the cells are long or a short, narrow, thick-walled and lignified secondary wall. The secondary walls are lignified. The cell wall of these cells are uniformly and strongly thickened in nature. The sclerenchyma is classified into two types. One is sclerids and another one is fibers. First one is sclerids. The sclerids are also called as a stone cell because they are very hard in nature. So the sclerids are dead cells. They are usually isodiametric. They are having similar diametric in nature. That is isodiametric, but some are elongated. The sclerids, some are elongated. So the sclerids are isodiametric and some are elongated in nature. The cell wall of the sclerids are very thick. The cell walls are very thick in nature because due to the presence of lignin. So the cell wall are very thick due to lignified. The secondary wall is very thick. The lumen means center cavity. The lumen center cavity is very much reduced. They are smaller in space. They are very much reduced. The pits may be simple or bordered. Pits means a small opening. The pits are small. The pits are very much reduced into a small in nature. The pits may be a simple pit or either a bordered pit. Simple or bordered pit. The sclerids are mechanical in function. They give hard structure to the seed coat. So the sclerids are present in the seed coat of some plant. So the harsh nature of the seed coat is due to the presence of the sclerids. And also it is seen in endosperm. What is endosperm? Endosperm is a triple fusion product. That is, one of the male gamete fused with the secondary nucleus is called as a endosperm. This endosperm is used as a nutritive tissue for the developing embryo. So the endosperms of some seeds are having a sclerids. The sclerids are again classified into many types. That is brachysclerid, macrosclerid, osteosclerid, astrosclerid and tracheosclerid. So the sclerid function is it gives mechanical tissue. They give hard structure to the seed coat endosperm. The sclerids are again classified into 5 types: brachysclerid, macrosclerid, osteosclerid, astrosclerid, and tracheosclerid. First type of sclerid is a brachysclerid. The brachysclerids are isodiametric and they are having hard cell wall. The cell wall of the isodiametric sclerids are hard in nature due to lignified. So the sclerids are also dead cells. They are found in bark. Bark means outer part of the large tree's trunk. Bark, pith region, cortex, hard endosperm, and the fleshy portion of some fruits. So the fleshy portion of some fruits are also having a sclerids. So these sclerids are also called as a stone cells. So the branches sclerids are also called as a stone cells. They are isodiametric sclerids and having hard cell wall. They are found in the parts such as bark region, pith, cortex, hard endosperm, and fleshy portion of some fruits. Example, pulp of pyrus, pear apple. In pear apple, the sclerids are present. It's called as a branches sclerids. The branches sclerids are also called as a stone cells. The next in branches sclerid, the central part, the cavity is called as a lumen cell and thick cell wall. The pit, a small pore is present, is called as a pit. A small pore is present is called as a pit. Mostly the pit of the branches sclerids are simple in nature. So the second type of sclerid is a macrosclerid. The macrosclerids are also called as a rod cells. The second type of the sclerid is a macrosclerid. They are also called as a rod cells because they are rod shaped. The elongated rod shaped sclerids are called as a macrosclerids. The macrosclerids are found in the outer seed coat of some leguminous plant. So the leguminous pulse variety, the seed coats are having a macrosclerid. These macrosclerids are also called as a rod cells because they are rod-like structure. They are rod-like. Elongated sclerids are called as a macrosclerids. These sclerids are found in the outer seed coat of leguminous plant, that is a pulse variety. Example, crotalaria and Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum means a pea plant. Crotalaria, Gligilippu kottai, Tamil. In Tamil it is called as a Gligilippu kottai. So these plants possess the macrosclerid. The macrosclerids are also having thick outer cell wall, the central lumen, which are narrow in nature. Then third type of sclerid is called as a osteosclerids. The osteosclerids are also called as a bone sclerid. The osteosclerids are also called as a bone cells. The osteosclerids are rod shaped with dilated end. So both the ends are very thick and they are wider and broad in nature. On this end, they are broad, larger in nature. So this it is called as a dilated. Dilated ends, such a sclerids are called as a osteosclerids or bone cells. Example, it is also present in the seed coat of Pisum, pea plant. The fourth type of sclerid is called as astrosclerid. These astrosclerids are star cells. The sclerids are look like a star shaped. The star cells with lobes, these are called lobes, are arms diverging from the central body. From the center, many lobes are arm-like structure which are diverging out. So they occurs in the petiole. What does mean by petiole? Petiole is the stalk of the leaf. So the stalk of the leaves and the petiole and leaves they are present. The astrosclerids are present in the petiole of the leaf and also in the lamina of the leaf. Example, T. nymphea. Nymphea is a lily plant and Trupco dendron. So in this species, the leaves and the petioles are having a astrosclerotes. The astrosclerotes or the sclerotes which are having star cells with lobes or arms which are radiated from the center. They are found in the petiole and the leaves of some plant, example T. nymphea. And the fifth type of sclerid is called as a trichosclerid. These trichosclerids are hair-like. The trichosclerids are hair-like structure. They are thin-walled sclerids. These trichosclerids are thin-walled sclerid. There are numerous small angular crystals embedded in the walls, in the cell wall of these sclerids. They are present in stem and leaves of some hydrophytes. What are called hydrophytes? The water living plants are called as hydrophytes. The hydrophytes are having a trichosclerids. The trichosclerids are hair-like thin-walled sclerids. The end walls are having a angular shaped crystals. So these sclerids are present in the stem and leaves of hydrophytes. The hydrophytes are water living plants. Example, the leaves and stems of the nymphea. Nymphea is a lily plant. The lily plant are having the trichosclerids. A new type of sclerid is called as filiform sclerid. These sclerids are present in the leaf lamina. Leaf lamina means the widely expanded part of the leaf is called as a lamina. In this lamina region, the sclerids are present as called as a filiform sclerid. The filiform sclerids are present in the leaf lamina of Olea europea. Olea europea are commonly called as a olive plant. So the olive plant which are having the filiform sclerids. The filiform fibers are very much elongated fibers like and about 1 meter in length. Next type of sclerenchyma is the fibers. The fibers are very much elongated sclerenchymatous cells. They are having pointed tip, sharp tip. So the fibers are having a pointed tip. They are sharp tip in nature. The fibers are dead cells having lignified. The fiber cell wall is also very thick due to lignification. So the cell walls with narrow lumen. Here the fibers are having the cavity is narrow in nature. They are having narrow lumen and pointed end. So lumen means a central cavity. The central cavity of the fibers are very much narrow in nature. So they are having a pointed end walls. They have simple pits. The pits are simple in nature. Pits means pores which are present in the fibers are called as pits. The pits are a small pore is present in the wall of the fibers are called as pits. The pits are simple in nature. They are not surrounded by a outer wall. So the simple pits, they have provided mechanical support to the plant. So during heavy wind or storm, the plant can withstand due to the presence of fiber without breaking down. So the function of the fibers are, it gives a mechanical strength and protect them from the strong wind. It is also called as a supporting tissue. The fibers are also called as a supporting tissue because it provides mechanical strength and also protect the plant from the strong wind. Fibers have a great commercial value. So fibers are useful in cottage and industrial textile industries. So the fibers are having commercial value because they are used in cottage and also textile industries. So fibers are classified into 5 types. First type of fiber is wood fiber or xylem fiber. So bast fiber or extra xylem fiber, and surface fiber, mesocarp fiber and leaf fiber. So the fibers are classified into 5 types. One is a wood fiber or xylem fiber, bast fiber or extra xylem fiber, surface fiber, mesocarp fiber and leaf fiber. First type of fiber is a wood fiber or xylem fiber. So these fibers are found associated with the xylem. So the xylem means wood. So the fiber which are associated with the secondary xylem tissues are called as a wood fiber or xylem fiber. They are also called as a xylem fiber. These fibers are derived from the vascular cambium. What is meant by vascular cambium? The cambium or tissues which are present in between the xylem and the phloem. So these are of 4 type. So the wood fiber is again classified into 4 type. One is a labriform fiber, fiber tracheids, septate fiber and gelatinous fiber.